about this call. We want you to hear from who we feel like the person in the company right now is definitely leading the way. And I've got my camera up here because Frank is in a remote area. He can't get on, he can't even make the phone number work. So anyway, I've got him connected here, and hopefully he can see it because his FaceTime keeps going off for me, but hopefully he can see it and hear it. So anyway, we're going to introduce Aaron Browning. For those of you who don't know who he is, I think most of you, you're famous, Aaron. Everybody knows who you are.
Let me grab my wife. I want her to hear this.
Just in case, this young man has he's been like a lightning streak in the business in a very, very good way. He has reached the $200,000 ring in way less than 2 years, what, 15 months or something like that, Aaron? Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yep.
Yep.
Correct.
And I would like for you to share with everybody the number of recruits you and your team have maybe so far this month, because y'all are exploding. Go.
Yeah. We I just checked this morning. We're sitting at 110 power team recruits month to date.
Wow. Okay, that is super great. Elizabeth, anything you want to say before we turn it over to this superstar and Frank?
No, just excited about him. Obviously, and he's also the new network vice president for Virginia, and so I've had a little bit of time to get to spend with him in that environment. And he's just a great leader all the way around, and just a blessing to the company. And today, I'm just excited he's going to be a blessing to each and every one of us. So thank you, Aaron.
Absolutely. And if you guys don't mind, let's do a kind of a Q&A. I'm going to jump in and share some nuggets that are on my mind and heart today. But I would love for especially the leadership team here to kind of take it where you guys want it to go, if that's okay. Cool.
Absolutely.
Okay. So I'm going to talk a little bit about onboarding, because I think this is really important about how we set up our PZC. And I should also say this, and this is not to be cocky, I just want to frame it. We've been doing PZCs since we came over 15 months ago, like before it was cool. We were failing forward. So the success we're having now is because we were in the trenches doing this. Like, we were failing forward. We were doing them and no one was showing up. We were doing them, 20 people showed and no one signed. So we were constantly tweaking and pivoting, trying to make this work. And we're still doing that now. By no means is it perfect. And that's something, talking with Elizabeth and Teresa yesterday, is I kept saying, like, we're monitoring numbers, right? And then we'll pivot. We're not just making it up. So hopefully you guys take that for what it is. This company loves speed. I cannot say it enough, guys. So what we're doing on our team that allows us to have that huge growth is the minute a new associate comes on, we're doing that welcome call in most cases within the hour. Within the hour, guys. Worst case is same day. Like, we used to say 24 hours. We don't need that long. We're doing it right away. And the reason is, guys, we want to be able to, one, get that new associate anchored in our organization. Two, we want to really be able to control that message. Because when they come on, guys, in my opinion, they're never going to be as excited as they are that first day. And so they're running around to mom, sister, brother, cousin, neighbor, throwing up LegalShield, and they know nothing about it, right? And so we want to get them on that welcome call. The welcome call is really, really simple, guys. I asked them, and this is just our formula for it. I know there's a bunch of other ways to do it. I get them on the phone, and I want this call to be less than 5 minutes, because we're doing a lot of these. This is also really, really important. If your welcome call is taking 15, 20, 25 minutes, you're going to lose some hitters, guys. I didn't have that time when I started. If I knew every person I wanted to bring on, I had to do a 20-minute welcome call, I would have been out the door. Like, there's no way I could have done that. So be careful, because we're role modeling that, right? And we're all here for duplication. So that welcome call, I'll use Nick because I can see him. So the sponsor is going to introduce me, edify me, introduce Nick, and I'll say, awesome, Nick, thanks so much for carving out 5 minutes. I'm setting the expectation that this is 5 minutes, guys. And I'll say, Nick, if you don't mind, would you share your 15 to 20-second story and background? I know it's a little weird, but I just want to know a little bit about you. I added that little weird comment because most people outside of LegalShield don't do stories. Like, I had no idea what that was until a year ago. Like, we don't talk like that. And you'll kind of hear it. They're like, yeah, okay. And just let them roll. And I did add 15 to 20 second, because if you don't give them a cap, you're going to get some talkers that will all of a sudden go 5 or 6 minutes, and now the whole day is blown, or at least a segment of it. So once they share that story, I'll say, awesome, Nick, thank you so much for sharing, man. I love it. Nick, real quick, why LegalShield? Let them answer. This is so important. Don't blurt out, embrace the silence. And this can be hard, guys, because they didn't know he was going to be asked that. And the reason I do this, there's really two answers. They're going to say, Because my friend Corey, I don't know, I've always respected him. I thought, why not try it? Or two, they're going to say, because I need this. Like, I was looking for this. I was praying for this, and this came to my life, and it's now. Right? There's two different answers, and I'm not in judgment on this. It's their answer. Right? And then the second question I say is, Nick, by the way, Nick, thank you. Awesome. I appreciate you sharing that. Real quick, what do you want to make a month for this to be a win for you? Guys, I teach this a lot, and people shy away from the money conversation. I think it's really, really important. Really, really important. Let them answer that, by the way. These two questions for me flush out as a leader who I'm going to lock arms with and who I'm going to run with. Okay, so I want to recap. Why LegalShield? How much do you want to make? There's no judgment. There's no wrong answer, right? I don't know, my friend Corey's cool, or because this is it. I got to see my kids. I got to provide. Like, this has to happen, right? And then the second question with the money. I don't know. I'd be happy if I made $300 this month. Okay, cool. Or I need to get to 10,000 as fast as freaking possible. There's a big difference in the urgency and the speed of that. And if think about this for a second too, guys, I just flushed that out in my first 1 minute of being on the phone with them. So I know right away who I need to lock arms with, who I need to grab. This was huge for me, guys. As you start to build this thing huge, I don't have all day to do this, right? So I got to be able to flush out the runners as quick as possible. Cool. So that's really short. The next thing I'll say is, Nick, awesome. If you don't mind, I'd like to share my 30-second background with you. And I'll go over, real estate here, the solution and all that sort of stuff. You guys know how to do that. This is not a puff piece. This is not a, 2 to 5 minute, let me beat my chest. Here are the awards I won. You can do that kind of stuff later if it's important to you. I just want them to know who I am quickly. And then I say, awesome, Nick, I also want to share our team's 30-second story. Is that okay with you? By the way, guys, I hope you pick up my language. This is a conversation. It's not me just lecturing. So you guys notice I say, Nick, awesome. Nick, if you don't mind, Nick, I hope that's okay with you. Because I want to, yeah, Aaron, tell me. Right? It forms that relationship, which is so much more powerful. Cool. So I'll say, and the team story, guys, obviously tailored to your team. Your team is so much bigger than my team, which is awesome. Get a good team story. I think this is so important. I've never heard anyone else talk about it. Maybe you guys do. So our quick story is, Nick, we formed this team 15 months ago. It's called Residual Empire. We are the fastest growing team in the entire country. We wear that title with a badge of honor. A badge of honor, man. And I hope when you join us, you wear that same badge, right? We're proud to say our team name. And I'll just go through a quick 30-second, just like that. And then I'll say, now I'm going to tie it down to the PZC. And that's why I led with this. Nick, the number one reason that we believe we've had all the success and this growth to allow us to be the number one team right now is the way we get associates launched. Yeah, I use the word launched, Nick. You're going to hear a lot of other people in LegalShield talk about getting started right, getting started. We don't do that, man. We want to launch you. We want to get you launched in your first 24 hours. Can I share with you how we do that? You guys see the tie down again? Nick has to say yes if he wasn't taking notes, right? Okay, there he is. Cool. I'll say awesome. The number one way we do this, guys, is through the PZC. And that stands for private Zoom call. This is one of the best tools I've ever seen, right? I'm going to explain it to you, Nick. You and I and your sponsor, Corey, we're going to set up a time right now in the next 24 hours. We're going to block out an hour. We're going to give you a text script to send out. You're going to invite all your warm market, friends, family, loved ones, people you know, love, care, and respect for. Is that cool? Awesome. And what we're going to do, Nick, this is a highly, highly leveraged activity for you, man. Highly leveraged. You're going to send out a text invite, make a few phone calls. You're going to get on this Zoom like we're doing right now. You're going to sit there and wave at your friends and family like you're in a parade, man. Right? Corey, who's senior here, he's going to edify me and introduce me, and I'm going to run a sick presentation for you guys. It's going to be about 30 minutes long. And then at the end of this, guys, Corey and I are personally going to get on the phone and help you walk through the applications, Nick. And why this is so important is you won't even know what's going on. You won't even know. This opportunity, Nick, allows you to take part in one of the models I'm so proud to introduce. It's called the Earn While You Learn model. Earn while you learn. You are going to learn more with Corey and I modeling this behavior and everything else. But the cool part with this, Nick, is you're going to earn a what I call a belief check in your first 24 hours. Does that make sense, Nick? Okay, awesome. And then, Nick, the $1 million question to you is, are you ready to get launched? And by the way, guys, it's kind of funny. I would say about 95% of the people say yes. Some say no. And that's okay. It's crazy to me. I don't know why someone would, but that's their story, right? And I'm not forcing it, right? Because if they're not bought into that kind of dialogue, they're not looking to run with us. There's still a place for them in our organization. We still love on them. But I am not forcing a PZC down someone that doesn't want it. That's not what this is about. Because in my opinion, they're not going to lean in. They're not going to have guests anyway. Okay. I don't know, any questions on that, how we get to that part? And let me add one more thing too. I made a mistake. We were setting the PZC 3, 4, 5 days out thinking people needed time. I was wrong. I was 100% wrong, and I failed forward doing it. If I were to call Corey and invite Corey out to a Tuesday Zoom, Corey says, yeah, that's cool, right? He's probably not even checking his schedule because it's so far out. And then it's so far out that he forgot about it. And then here's the other thing I learned. It's so far out that as a new associate, I didn't get paid for 4 or 5 days. Like, it is a disservice. And I'm sorry, I'm not trying to like preach. I'm just passionate about this, guys. We got to get people paid. When you get someone paid, I'm talking within hours and ranked up, they're anchored in. Like, they're so bought in, they are jacked out of their mind. And that PCC model, it just does it really, really effectively. Okay, any questions on that, guys? Are we able to open up or no? Okay, maybe.
Oh yeah, everyone can unmute themselves. And Aaron, you allowed us to get on one of your private Zoom calls yesterday and watch. And the gentleman you did that for, you had signed him up at 10 o'clock the night before, and you did his Zoom at 8 a.m. the next morning, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah,
Guys, think about what she just said, by the way. Think about that. We had every excuse not to set that until the next night, maybe even the following day. And I'm so glad you brought that up.
And he
that
had,
comes
and
out
he
in
had
posture,
what, seven? He had like 7 guests on as well, and it was just from 10 a.m. to 8 a.m. But he had like 7 guests on. So I'll let you go, Aaron.
Yeah, I love it. This is why I love Q&As, because she just takes you somewhere else. That's posture, right? If I don't do that welcome call with him at 10 o'clock the night before, I'm like jacked out of my mind, like saying, dude, we're gonna get you paid. We're gonna move along. Like, you're gonna be manager in 24 hours. There's no way he's saying, yeah, let's do this at 8 a.m. Right? I want to make sure you guys get that, because if you're just talking to you're doing a welcome call trying to copy this, and you're like, yeah, we're hopeful we can get you paid. We'd like to set a date and time. Can you pull out your calendar? Guys, they're going to push it back. Like, they're not excited for it either. We got to be super excited. I say it all the time, guys. If you're not excited, there's no way I'm excited. No way. Okay, hopefully you guys are getting that. The other thing with welcome calls too is, and we were struggling with this for so long, we've gotten so much better at it, thank God. Don't just rely on your sponsoring associate to set that welcome call. Until you build this as a culture, and you build this, this muscle, right, to where people are used to doing this, don't just wait on them. I was saying that with my family, and I say all the time, I'm not going to put my family's fate, our finances into a brand new associate. Like, I got to hold their hand. I got to coach them on this, guys. So as leaders, if we're waiting for our phone to ring with welcome calls, I think you're missing it. And I did that for many, many months. I kept waiting for the phone to ring, and it doesn't happen. So now, I'm pulling it, right? The minute they introduce somebody, I'm calling that sponsor. Corey, get me on the phone with what's the new guy's name? Nick. Awesome. Can you get me on the phone now? Now? Yeah, right now. I'm free right now. I'll try. Cool. Like, that's how I do it, guys. Like, I am running with urgency. Okay, cool. Any other questions on that before we kind of jump into some PZC talk?
Okay, so Aaron, I just want to clarify one thing. When you do that welcome call, you want the person who brought them on board on that call.
Yeah, 100%, guys. This is going to sound harsh too, but it is what it is. I did not come to LegalShield for a job. I came here to build a massive organization, right? To build time freedom, leverage income, all that good stuff that we all talk about. I'm not going to go into the trenches for someone if they're not going to be in the trenches with me. So everything I do is for grooming leaders, like 100%. You might get one free one out of me, right? So I'll use Corey. I know he doesn't do this. I'm just using him because I was using him for that story. If Corey does that welcome call, Corey has to be on that PZC with me and Nick, because I'm grooming him so that he can go do PZCs for Nick, and then we're going to keep doing that down the ropes, whatever you want to call it, right? In fact, that one I did yesterday that Elizabeth and Teresa were on, my sponsor was not on. Right. And that I got to get better as a leader, because that makes my blood boil. Like, I was crystal clear on that. And he's like, oh, something came up. Nothing comes up. This is your organization. Right now I'm going to give him a pass. Like, he needs to be able to pivot and adapt. But if I do another one and that happens again, no, it's not happening. Not happening. And once again, I know it's a little bit harsh, but I think we have to groom leaders. The other thing too is once you guys start doing this model, I get this question a lot. I think Teresa, even someone asked yesterday, are you running internet leads? I'm not knocking anyone that is. I think it's great if you can do it. I don't have time. There is no freaking way. Because think about this, guys. And here's the cool thing about this model. So I'm doing Nick's PZC right now at 12 o'clock, right? At 12:45, we shut it down. Let's say he had 5 guests on. I'm going to be conservative. Let's just say we timed 2, which I'm okay with. We're most likely signing 3, but let's just say 2. We're signing 2. That's at 12:45 to 1 o'clock. At 1 o'clock, Nick is getting me on the phone with those 2. We're doing the welcome call. At least one of them is going to have a PZC tonight, and the other could be tonight or tomorrow morning. So now let's do the same math. I signed 2 more tonight, 2 more tomorrow. I now have 4 more PZCs just from Nick today. What does your world look like, guys, if you had 6 PZCs in the next 24 hours that weren't on your books right now? Right? That's why, honestly, I mean it, guys. I don't have time. I turned, and this is awful too. That's why I'm grooming leaders. I turned down more PZCs than I could keep. I had 26 on my calendar last week, and my family moved houses. Like when I say like we were, I mean, I even missed one. I'm embarrassed to say it, but I'm authentic. I could not keep up. Like, I mean, it was throwing them. And I'm one of those, once you have momentum, guys, the leaders on the call know this better than everyone. You don't ever want to lose it because it is a pain in the butt to rebuild it. And so I kept telling my wife, honey, you got to hold down the fort, but we have momentum. We're not losing it. And so you just do the best you can. I know that was long-winded, but yeah, that's the beautiful thing about this, guys. You're one new recruit. Doesn't have to be yours, by the way. I know corporate probably doesn't like that. It could be a team's recruit. If you do this right, you get your hands on that person, launch that PZC, your schedule's full for the next couple of weeks. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Aaron,
Absolutely.
Frank has got a question. Go ahead.
Hey, Aaron, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing well, sir.
Good. Got a quick question. Let's back up just for a second. You said you just sponsored me. You go, let's get somebody on the phone right now. I get somebody on the phone, and they answer, and I turn it over to you. What do you do with that new person from there?
Is this for the welcome call?
Yeah. You just sponsored me, 20 minutes ago or 15 minutes ago. I just signed up, and you say, Frank, let's get somebody on the phone right now. And I said, okay, I'll call my brother. So I call my brother, and he gets on. I introduce you to him. What do you do with that? What are you going to do with my brother? You're going to invite him to a call? You're going to explain what's going on? What do you do with him?
Yeah, so it's a great question too. We're not running that model. I know Mr. Self talks about it all the time. Our 3 ways are primarily for once someone's already seen the information. I just don't have time in my schedule to do it. Now, where I will break that rule is for influencers. Like we brought over some really, really big players in the real estate space who and this could be a limiting belief on my part. Sometimes it's hard to get someone like that who is already like doing really, really well. I mean, they're pulled in 1,000 different directions, pitched all the time to go sit down and watch a 20-minute video. So I will have some of our agents, some of our associates, will get me on the phone to kind of tease it. But even then, I mean, that's like a 2 or 3 minute tease because they haven't even seen the information. I've never, and I'm not the best salesperson, I've never been able to close someone that hasn't seen the information. I haven't, and I struggle doing it. Now I will do to his point, if someone on my team is struggling, where they just can't get someone on a Zoom, they can't get someone to watch a video. If I saw talent in that person, and once again, I'm not trying to be a jerk, guys, but your time is so precious. I cannot go do that to someone that's not leaning in. I'm talking about someone that's like trying. Like Aaron, I sent out 9 texts today. I sent out 12 yesterday. Like they're doing their activity. They're just not getting the result. I'll say, awesome, get me on the phone with somebody. And I'll walk right through that. And for that, it's the same thing. If I had to role play real quick, Corey introduced me to Nick. Hey, Nick, how are you, man? Nick says, they'd be like, awesome, man. Listen, Corey can't stop raving about you. Like he literally thinks like you walk on water, glow in the dark, man. I don't know what you're paying him, man, but keep doing it. Anyway, he talks about you so much. I said I wanted to meet you. By the way, guys, that is so good because it just started off with a compliment. Nick's glowing. He's like sitting tall. His chest comes out, right? There's no way he's going to be rude to me on this call now. I'm like, awesome, Nick. Nick, listen, Corey, for whatever reason, I can already tell you got some talent, man. You got some posture to you. I love it, man. I love it. Listen, he thinks you would absolutely slay this little business project we're working on. And I know you hadn't seen anything. You're busy like I am. But listen, if I were to get you on a quick Zoom call, and I would do a private one just for you, man. I think you're that caliber of person. Would you carve out 20 minutes today? Let's say 2 o'clock. Once again, I don't know how scalable that is, guys, but I promise you right now, Nick's on that call at 2 o'clock. This is also what I call, that's probably a better phrase. I call it borrowed posture, right?
I think clear that up. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Corey, I think you were going to ask one.
Yeah, I just want to add something in the script that you guys are using, man, the text script, or if they're making calls, would you just kind of give an idea of what that wording is, and do they get people that's asking, well, tell me all about it before they even want to get on the Zoom, or could you just kind of share a little bit about what your, just the wording of that?
Yeah, I'm gonna pull it up for you so I don't mess it up. I'm gonna give you everything, guys. Anything you want, I'll share.
All right, man. Appreciate that. Not everyone's going to do that. So and we did have a few people that got on a little bit late. I know that. Can you mention one more time where you're at Power Team Recruits right now? And if you don't mind, the income. I mean, I know you just crossed a ring level recently, a newer ring level. I know you're modest and all of that stuff, but could you kind of share that? I just want to make sure people get that.
Yeah, yep. So I just hit the $200,000 ring 2 weeks ago, I think now. And I got that on my 15th month in the business. We were the #1 power team, I think, for the last several months. I know for sure last month. Month to date, and I know it's not 100% accurate because we run pretty late on the West Coast. We're sitting at 110 power team recruits month to date. Yeah, we're pushing hard to unlock the triple in the first month, guys. So that's a big goal of 200. I think our best month is 145, and we're looking to crush that. And by the way, guys, that's a good story. You know, we do this in real estate a lot. It's called borrow stories. And the way we do it, I'm very, very ethical. I don't ever cheat or anything like that, so don't take it for that. We use the word we. So like when I was a brand new agent, we had an office. And so I would always say, oh yeah, we're the #1 agent. Oh yeah, we listed 100 homes last month. I didn't say I did it. I borrowed my team. So I think same thing here, guys. And the reason I say that is right now it's doom and gloom in the world. I mean, let's call it what it is. I mean, I can't even go on Facebook without, some, like, the world is ending. Like, almost to the point I got to, like, distance myself from it. If you guys can share these stories, that there are people out there right now who are killing it. Our best month is in one of the darkest times. Like, think about that. Like, we have no excuses, guys. People are home. And that's big for me too. All I need, as a sales guy, I just need to know it's possible. Right? I remember when I came onto the scene and Nick and Justin and those guys, I mean, I was just like, in fact, the day I signed on, they were up at the country club at Brian Carruthers' house. Talk about a small world. Crazy. But anyway, I just needed to know. Brian told me what they did, and I was like, okay, game on. Like, it's doable. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay, so I'm going to read the script to you guys. And in full disclosure, I share this. I haven't shared it with that many people, but when I do, I can always see their face, and they think I'm lying. It's not sexy. This is not about having this like wazzle-dazzle script, excuse my language. This is about something that's effective. I always say dumb it down. I want to dumb things down so that everybody can do it. That makes sense? Okay, cool. So if I was sending it, and tailor the intro, like, hey, what's up, Corey? If I was talking to Nick, it's going to be a lot more, I don't want to call it slang, but a lot looser conversation, right? Versus I'm talking to someone older, I guess. Okay, so our script is, hey, what's going on, or whatever you want to say. My buddy Aaron just showed me this really cool way he's making a huge side income from home. He's doing a private Zoom call for me Sunday at 7. He'll explain everything. If I got you my last VIP ticket, would you move your schedule around to be on? That's it. And then I joke, by the way, and I think I shared this with Elizabeth yesterday. When I'm on that welcome call, I have the associate read the script to me because I want them, because they're instantly thinking, that's really what you send? And I say, yes, that script right there is gold. Up until now, I've never shared it with a group, so I got to change what I'm going to say. But I said that script is why we're the #1 team. That's it. And they're like, really? And I say, yes, I have guys right now, gals on their team who are killing it. And then I'll say to them, and it's a joke, but I want them to understand this. When someone fires back, tell me more, what is it? You hang up the phone. And they're like, what? I'm like, you hang up the phone. I don't want you answering anything. Like, you're not allowed to answer anything. You just say, you know what? I still don't know what I don't know. I want you to see what I saw. Can you get on? Well, tell me what it is. I don't even know the company name. You just got to see what this guy says. Like, I don't want him answering anything. Right? And I want to share this with you guys too. And this is, I think, powerful. If someone would have called me 15 months ago and told me that meeting I went to that I now know is a business briefing, if they would have told me it was LegalShield, I would not have gone. I'd already seen it. Think about this. I am not in your organization right now, all the growth we're having, if someone got me on the phone and said LegalShield before I saw the information. Guys, if that doesn't wake some people up, like, we got to say less to more people. I have never recruited a single person where they knew what they were about to watch. Not one time. I haven't. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay. Any other questions on that? I'm not checking the chat box, by the way, if someone else wants to, but.
Yeah,
okay.
I have a
anything
question.
else? Yeah.
Aaron Eddie Smith from South Carolina. In the
Hey,
PCC, what actual presentation are you doing?
Yeah, I use the, I think it's a standard briefing. I don't always go in and change it for the updates, but I'm pretty sure it's normal. A question that Elizabeth asked yesterday, obviously I'm in Brian Carruthers' tree, and he is very, like, he's good, right? He's one of the goats. He is very, what's the right word? he wants me to have that presentation down to like 20, 25 minutes. And I was doing it for months. By the way, it works fantastic for Brian. We were signing on between 10 and 15% of the guests on a Zoom when I had it down to that 2025. I'm now in that like 35 to 37, and he cringes, like gets mad at me. But our sign up ratio has gone to damn near 70%. And that's a big number, guys. Imagine signing 70%. I don't know if that's the only reason. I was kind of, masterminding with Teresa and Elizabeth yesterday on this. I think it's because of the stories. My goal on that PZC, I need that every prospect on there to be able to relate to at least one of my stories. If I can get them to relate one to where they say, oh my gosh, me too, or oh my gosh, I would have used it for that, we won. If I'm cutting it out and I'm trying to talk as fast as I can, I already talk fast, but I'm going even faster, getting it down to 20, 25, I'm cutting stories out. I'm cutting posture out. And now I'm guessing on which one based on the crowd is going to resonate with them. And I pray and hope I got it right. And we just weren't. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Aaron, I have a question. What do you do right after the PCC? Like we were on one yesterday with you, observing your great presentation that was 30 or 35 minutes, whatever it was, which I love that because the stories I think are what sell. And I totally agree with you on that. So what was your procedure right after that?
Yeah, great question. And this is all failing forward too. So originally it was the minute we hung up, I called the new associate. I say, dude, get me on the phone with them all. Let's go, Nick. And Nick instantly, right? And by the way, this is just true, guys. Most people in this world play not to lose versus playing to win. Guys, you can argue it all day you want. I'm telling you right now, I will go to the grave saying this. Most people play not to lose versus playing to win, especially if you do this correctly and you got them to invite their warm market. So here's what happens. I'm a big psychology guy. They're hanging up the Zoom. Nick right now is thinking, oh my gosh, he just killed. Hopefully he's thinking he just killed that. Like, this is amazing. He's jacked, right? And now he's sitting by his phone. Like, come on, baby, ring. I know if Dad saw it and he loved it, he's gonna call. I know if Justin saw it, he's gonna see. Oh, come on, ring, guys. No one's calling you. I shouldn't say no one. Maybe 1%. Guys, I'm telling you, like, if all the people we recruited, I could probably count on one hand the number of people that called me after they watched the video. Buying LegalShield, the app, guys, it's not sexy. We all need it. I'm not saying that. Like, we 100% need it, right? But it's not like, oh my gosh, Nick, you got to see this app. Like, you're not running home going to show it, right? So we really have to go with that. So what we had to do, and sorry, it was long-winded, all over the place. So what I discovered was I called Nick, say, Nick, get me on the phone. He's instantly freezing up. Like, wait, I got to call them? Like, uh-oh. They're not saying that. And I discovered it because there were no three-way calls coming in. And it even got disguised as them lying. And I'm not saying malicious lie. They didn't want to hurt me. Where they were being like, oh, I tried. They didn't answer. I'm like, what? It doesn't make sense. They just saw information, and they're people you know, love, like, respect. So all of a sudden I was like, we got to fix this. We got to pivot. So now, after the welcome call, by the way, let's say Nick's PCC was at 9:00 tonight. I'm checking in with him, and I'm going to lose some of you guys on this because it's a lot of work. I'm checking in with him every hour. Have to, guys. Have to. If it's the next day, I'll check in maybe twice today, and then I'll do every hour tomorrow. It takes work because I'm coaching Nick up. Hey, Nick, man, I know we just got the phone an hour ago. Out of curiosity, how many invites you get out? I got out 3. Awesome, man. How many confirmations? None yet. Cool. Nick, can I challenge you? Yeah, of course, Aaron. Awesome. Can you shoot out 15 in the next hour? Yeah, I can do that. Awesome. I'll follow up with you in an hour. Guys, when we started doing this, it allowed me to course correct versus me reaching out to Nick at 8:45. Nick, we're about to start. How many confirmations you got? Aaron, none, man. Guys, we're not miracle workers. I can't fix that in 15 minutes. But if I'm doing that on the hour, oh my goodness. Works out perfect. Okay, so now on that first check-in call, guys, and you can sprinkle it in where you're going to do it, but you need to do it at least 2 or 3 times prior to the Zoom. I'm going to say, Nick, real quick, here's how it's going to work again. I know I told you on what we call our welcome call. You're just going to get on the call 5 minutes earlier. You already got the link. I just want you waving, chit-chatting until Corey takes over, introduces me, and then we're going to mute out. At the very end of that call, while we're on that call, Nick, I have homework for you. You ready for some homework? By the way, guys, when you're engaging like that, I've never had someone say no. So don't think they're going to, right? Nick's even like, yeah, of course. Awesome. Nick, I want you to have your pen and paper out. I want you taking notes on who's leaning in. And what I mean by leaning in, Nick, you're going to see me. Here's a great one. You're going to see me get to the money slide, right? And you're going to see someone go like that. They're like checking those numbers. Write their name down. Star it. Highlight it. Asterisk it, right? And I want you taking notes on that, because here's why, Nick. As soon as that Zoom ends, I want you sorting your list from hot to cold based on who was leaning in and activity. And we're going to call those hot ones first. Is that cool with you? Awesome. Okay, and then the next call. And I'll keep sprinkling that in. So now when that PZC ends, I say, Nick, awesome, man. Let's go. We got to strike while the iron's hot. Let's get them on the phone. Let's go. Go down the hot list. And this way, it's not a shock to their system. So that really, really helped us a lot. The other cool thing with this too is when you're grooming leaders the correct way. So let's say Corey's a manager on the team. I don't say no longer. For the most part, Corey is running those 3 ways with Nick. So I've groomed Corey because he saw me do it with him. That now Corey, the minute that Zoom ends, he's calling Nick doing that. This allows me, like I said, I run anywhere from 4 to 8 Zooms a day. If I had to do the 3-way every single time, I couldn't grow, and it would stunt the whole organization's growth. So that leadership play is huge, guys. You will end up hitting a ceiling of achievement if it's all about you. You just will. That makes sense?
Makes perfect sense, Aaron. This is Elizabeth. And one of the things I wanted to make sure everybody took note of is, even during your presentation yesterday and during your conversation today, you are consistently asking permission. You are consistently, hey, are you ready for some homework? You're essentially asking them permission to give them a job. You did that consistently on your call yesterday as well. And that was so powerful. Like you said, if you don't mind, hope that's okay. You're constantly kind of getting them to buy in, to agree with you on what you're getting, what you're going to ask them to do next. And you do that brilliantly.
I appreciate that. I've been working on that for a very long time. I call it tie down. And here's why we started, and this is all from real estate. I started doing that because, I'll give you an example. So if I'm talking to Elizabeth, and I'll say, Elizabeth, does that make sense? It's so funny, and I've been this so long. She might be multitasking. Guys, we're all doing 1,000 different things, right? Don't kid ourselves. So when I first ask her that, without fail, it happens every time. I'm sorry, I'm laughing. It's just so funny. I'll say, Elizabeth, does that make sense? Aaron, can you repeat that one more time? Because she wasn't listening. But watch what happens now. If she knows I'm going to do, she doesn't know it's a tie down. Most people don't know sales like that. She's all in, like all in, because of that tie down. Once you do it one time, they're like, now they're back engaged. I took them from over here and I got them realigned. Really powerful. And then it also, guys, like I said, sales is a relationship. It is. This is not me getting on the phone, me getting on a Zoom and just lecturing. It's not. I gotta have their buy-in. And tie downs are so good. Does that make sense to you? Can you relate to that? Right? Those are sample ones. I'll give you guys 2. This isn't PZC related, but 2 sales great questions. If you ever get stuck, this has worked my entire life. If someone's talking about something, most of the time when people give an objection, that first objection that comes out of their mouth is what I call a surface objection. It's not the real objection. They don't even know what it is. So if Nick's like, is this one of those network marketing companies? Nick, do me a favor. Tell me more about that. So write that down. Tell me more about that. Tell me more about X. So you could actually add to that. Tell me more about network marketing, Nick. He'll end up self-coaching him through it, which is so funny if you guys trust me on this. The second one I use all the time, Nick, let me ask, what's important about network marketing to you? So what's important about X to you, and tell me more about X. Those 2, if you are ever stuck, will get you out of a bind. I use it every single day. I use it on my wife when I'm in trouble. I'm going to get in trouble for saying that one. But it's true. They're just really, really good. We want them talking. I can't handle an objection until I get to the root of it. Make sense? By the way, you guys want to know, in my humble opinion, I know I'm a rookie on this call, the number 1 objection for someone who's not joining us as an associate, number 1 reason, they don't think they can be successful doing it. And by the way, guys, most people are never going to admit that to you. Never go. I know I'm getting way off. There's some nuggets in my opinion. So here's one I build in. I can tell on the phone when I'm doing a 3-way call. I call them drivers, who like my runners are. They're the people that like to get stuff done. They're not worried about, well, what does the residual on month 13 look like? Like, they're like, how do I get paid today? Like they're asking really direct language, right? And I can tell the opposite. Well, I'm sorry, you were a little unclear on slide 48. Like, they'll reference the number because they're detailed. They're taking those notes. I already know right now they're thinking they're not going to be able to do what we're doing, right? And so I build in my objection handling before it becomes an objection. Elizabeth and I were talking about this yesterday. This is important, guys. If I can get the objection conquered before it comes out of their mouth, there's no weight to it. Think about that for a second. This is like massive, guys. Massive. So I build in objection handlers before they become objections. So I'll use Elizabeth, even though this couldn't be further from the truth. If I'm on the phone with her, I'm thinking she's that detailed person on a three-way call. I'll say, Elizabeth, you probably can't even relate to this whatsoever, but I'm going to share something with you. If that's okay. See, I can't help myself, right? She's going to be like, yeah, of course, Aaron. Awesome. Elizabeth, I am the worst person on this call with you and Corey in terms of sales. Like the worst. Like it's embarrassing. Like embarrassing. And I know you can't relate to it, but here's what made me really successful over here. I learned day one that we don't sell anything. We don't sell anything. All I got really good at doing, Elizabeth, was inviting people to check out information. And when I learned this, Elizabeth, I know you can't see me, my shoulders went down. It was like the weight of the world came off my back. It allowed me to live in like my core system of who I am. The other cool part about this, I was so comfortable talking to friends, family, coworkers because I wasn't selling. I did not want to be that oddball that no one wants to sit next to at Thanksgiving dinner. And once again, I know you can't relate to that. 99% of the time, guys, the minute I say I know you can't relate to that the last time, they're like, Aaron, I didn't want to say it. I suck at sales too. And I'm like, no, guys, it's already over. Like I've already taken the application at that point. You guys get that? I'm telling you, it's gold. Sorry, I'm really excited today. I like this book. Any questions around that?
Aaron, it's Nancy Chaconis in California. I'm just curious, with your amazing 110 new associates, what's the ratio of men to women?
Whew, that is a great question. If I had to guess 60-40, I don't know if there's even a way for us to tell that. There probably isn't. There is? Oh, I don't know what I don't know.
No, right now, there is no way to tell. No.
There is no way. Yeah, I would say it's probably 60-40. Now, not everything's perfect. I'll tell you where I am awful, and this I'm probably never going to get asked to come back on one of your team calls again. Selling memberships. Like I'm awful. Our team is almost like a 1-to-1 ratio, and we absolutely have to fix that. We're leaving so much premium on the table, like so much. It probably starts because of Brian, right? Not to blame him because we're blessed, but we lead with opportunity first every single time, and we got to do a much better job when someone says no of circling back, and that's our team's biggest hole right now. Is the fact we're doggone near a 1-to-1 ratio. It should be a 1-to-4, 1-to-5, I would think.
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead.
That, we understand that. We do end up, you do end up ultimately with people who sell a lot of memberships, but when you lead with the opportunity, you do end up with a 1-to-1 ratio. We are a recruiting organization as well. So, but we do have a lot of people on here that sell a lot of memberships. So.
And I'm hoping that's going to come with us because we're so young right now, organization-wise, that hopefully it does. But yeah, that makes me feel a little better. So if there's nothing else on that, let's jump into some PZC stuff, guys. So once we're on that call, and I actually didn't do this yesterday. I was probably nervous as all get out because I had Elizabeth, Teresa, and Frank on it. Talk about scary. I was intimidated and I'd be more nervous if it was just those three right now than having the whole group because I just won't look at them. I focus on someone else. But so when I'm on that call, I want the new associate, right? They need to be on 5 minutes early, and it's not always perfect. It makes my blood boil that I'm texting them. And a lot of times, not a lot, sometimes they're hopping on a few minutes late. It blows my mind. Like this is for them, but they don't know what they don't know yet, right? I got to do a better job leading and really forcing that. So I do open it up, even 10 minutes early if I can. But I want them on. I want their video on, right? So I tell them that. Turn your video on. Be in a place where you can do it. You're not driving a car. Like you're it doesn't have to be a perfect place, but be at home. Be somewhere, right, where you can take this serious and also have your notepad. And then I want him or her greeting the guest. Really, really important. And you'll see if this is done right. I did one 2 days ago. They had 12 or 13 people on, this new associate of ours. She just crushed it. And watch this. Everyone on this call was like, this is like a family reunion. And I was like, yes, that's what you want. This needs to be a warm market. It was so I'll call it out of control in a good way, that I could not find a place in all their chit-chatting and catching up that we started 6 minutes late. I'm over here looking at my schedule trying to readjust, but it was like gold there. And so that's how you know that part's right. So I want the video on. The prospects, they're going to copy the associate, the host. So if their video's off, all their videos are off. I've seen it every single time. And you're still going to have some off. And I like to call them out in a nice way. So like if Corey's video is off, Be like, Corey, man, I've heard too much about you from Nick. I got to see if you're a real person, man. Come on, turn video. Just tease me. Turn it on for a second. Like, have some fun with it. And then all of a sudden, Corey comes on. He's like, no, I'm here. And sometimes they're in a place where they just can't do it, and they'll turn it back off. But a lot of times, they'll stay with an arm. And I'll be like, God, why is everyone so camera shy? Guys, push that camera button. Let's all wave. Like, have some fun with it. Because if I get the videos on, guys, this becomes more personal. Okay, cool. The other thing I've discovered, and you guys are gonna have a lot of questions on this, 'cause I'm gonna go fast, kind of all over the place. A PZC is not a briefing. The people who are treating this like a briefing are losing, in my opinion. And I've been there. I've been there so many times where I wanted to beat my head against the wall. I just wasted 6 hours and got no reward for it, right? And I'll tell you why. In a briefing, I don't have to have a hard close, because I'm going to do a circle up with Nick, April, Susan at the very end, where I'm going to get a one-on-one time to be able to close. So I'm not worried about that, right? I think most people are running that similar model. When I end that Zoom call, there is no guarantee that Nick's going to be able to get him on a phone call with me. So I got to do everything in my power to close this, guys. And when I started making that tweak, or those tweaks, everything changed. That's when we started. And that's why I said I can't necessarily say the 15% to 70 was just the length, because we made other tweaks there too. But I do think there's a strong correlation there. So I do a lot of soft closes, to Elizabeth's point. When I'll say, I mean, probably, I don't even know, 7, 8, 9, 10 times even throughout the presentation. You know, by the way, guys, you're going to get instant access to this. You're going to be able to get your will done today. Like this is going to be done at 12:45. Like at 12:50, you guys are going to be able to get your will done. That's what I call a soft close. You guys get that? Awesome. Guys, when you link arms with us today, when you partner with us today, when you do this with us now, when you get this app on your phone now, I've made myself available to help build your website now. Like, I'm using those words, guys, right? And then when I get to that last slide, and I wish I had a better memory, man. It's the action steps, the 4 action steps. I've seen a lot of briefings, and me included, because I didn't know what I didn't know. I was copying everyone else, right? Where they get to that and they almost mow over it, right? Obviously, guys, we want to get your membership. We can talk about it. Associate. We want to get you trained. We want to get you promoted. Guys, have a great day. And that was it. And I was doing that for so long. I get to that slide. That's the meat of my slide. So I get to that slide. I say the membership. Guys, obviously, you're all going to get the membership, right? And do you guys see my head right now? Obviously, you guys, look at Nick, guys. I love it. He gets it. I've seen Corey. I've seen April do it. Guys, I know it looks cheesy. I'm a bobblehead. Learn it. People copy, right? We're associations. We want to be similar to each other. They all end up doing this. It's hilarious. So, guys, obviously, you want to get the membership, right? It's so funny. Everybody's heads are moving. Obviously, you want to get the membership. It's a no-brainer, right? Guys, we're going to get both of those apps on your phone today. And in fact, I'm going to challenge everyone on the Zoom call right now. I want you to start your will the minute we get off this call. And if you're one of the chosen ones, one of the 30% that already have one, you're going to update yours today. Guys, that's really strong language. Here's the last one. The number one reason why they don't do it for the membership is time. Guys, here's the best part. It takes 3 minutes. 3 minutes from now, we're going to have you out on your way. You can go to work. You're probably home quarantined anyway. You can go hang out with the kids. You go do whatever else you got to do. 3 minutes to get yourself and your family protected. No brainer. You guys get that? Like, that's, in my opinion, that's strong. Okay, cool. Now the associate part. This is where I like it. Like, I love the opportunity. Cool, guys. Guys, my prayer, and I touch my heart. Like, I'm not trying to be cheesy. I mean this. This is not like, this is just me, like, just jacked. I'm passionate about it. Guys, my prayer, my wish, my hope is that I did enough today to show the value of what it looks like to become a partner with us on this crusade, guys, on this crusade. And that today is the day that you guys draw a line in the sand, that I'm going to get leveraged income. I'm going to get residual income. I'm going to earn a living tonight while I'm sleeping. Today is that day, guys. And guess what? It takes 5 minutes to knock out the membership and to become a business partner on this team. You guys have no excuses. You guys clear on that? Right?
Hi, Aaron. This is Mara Alexandru.
Yes.
Those 2 sentences are golden nuggets.
Well, I appreciate that. But yeah, we started making this, guys. I mean, you got to close. I am running this through I'm a big mindset person. I'm running this through my mind that I'm never going to see Nick. I'm never going to see April. I'm never going to see Mara again. This is my last shot. My family's fate, my family's wealth. Like, I take the gloves off. Remember what I led with earlier? I'm playing to win, guys. Even if the associate at the end, and it's never happened, was like, Aaron, that was a little strong. Okay, I'm playing to win for all of us, right? Okay, cool. And then guys, we want to get you trained. Guess what? I'm volunteering right now because I love what Nick's doing in our organization, that I'm personally going to train all of you on this call. That's a cool value add, right? Get creative with that. Get creative. Make it sound special. And then number 4, guys, number 4 is the most important thing I'm going to talk to you today. I get it. $99 to someone on this call might be a lot of money, because God knows it has been many, many times in my life. I take it so personal that I have designed some of the sickest, and depending on your crowd, you tailor what you want, some of the sickest systems. We have the models, we have the leadership on this team that most associates who partner with us today are going to 5x their investment in their first 24 hours. I want to be clear, not a get-rich-quick scheme. I would run for the mountaintop if someone did that to me. I can't guarantee it because I can't guarantee you. But the people who lean in, who are coachable and who are hungry, guys, sit back and collect the 5x. I've made myself available for the next 10 minutes to answer calls. I'm going to shut the Zoom down. I appreciate you and your time, guys. And I look forward to building a massive empire with you guys in the near future. And then I close it down. Whew, that's my close. Okay, hit me. What do you guys got? Nobody? All right.
I think everybody's too busy writing, Aaron. I think you might have to give them a second.
Yeah.
Yeah, Aaron, this is April. Killer. Even some of the things that you shared on the MVP call recently, Mr. Hurst and I have started to integrate them into our Zooms, and it definitely has started to make a difference. But you even gave more context today. So definitely going to be tweaking it, but this has been really phenomenal. So thank you so much.
Awesome.
That is one thing I was going to say. We sort of had a quick overview of Aaron doing, I mean, literally a 3-minute version of what he's done here in 45 minutes. So my question would be to Corey and Nick and April, any of our MVPs that are on that call with him. Was there something that he said on that MVP call that you wanted him to address in more detail here?
Well, there was one thing. This is Rob. Incredible training, Mr. Browning. You obviously, man, you have mastered this. But the question was at the close when you're doing that. I remember you saying something about, hey, text a person 1, text them 2, or something like that. Can you elaborate on that a little bit?
Yeah, we were toying with it, man. It didn't really work. Once again, and you know what I love, guys, by the way? This is not a set in stone. Like, this is a living process, right? We're going to have to be pivoting and adjusting. Even now we're adjusting. We're having really good success with it. So what he's talking about, text the person that invited you here. If and I even forget now. 1, if like you see value in the membership, you want to get your family protected right now. 2 is you have a few questions you want us to answer. And 3 is you're ready to freaking go build, right? Something like that. We weren't getting a lot of it. So we did abandon that. One thing we rolled out, and I have not shared this with anyone else other than Teresa and Elizabeth, and I don't have data on it, in full disclosure, so steal at your own risk. We rolled it out yesterday. We had success with it, but I need more time. I need at least a few weeks of this to really get data on it. Remember I said earlier, I said buying LegalShield isn't sexy, right? And what I mean by that is we all have a need and a use, but it's not like going to get a new car. I'm going to April, look at this car. Like, you're so excited, right? It's just, unless some other people are like that. I wasn't. Like, I didn't come home like, honey, oh my gosh. And so we have found that some people are like, oh yeah, this makes sense. I'm going to get it. And they end up waiting 3 or 4 days. There's no urgency. So me and one of my leaders were like, how do we fix this? How do we create that urgency? Like, what gives someone an incentive to do this right now? And so we added one slide at the very end. They took a picture of it, so they see value, they can share it. And it was just a quick call to action. So it looks like this. So I just did my close, made myself available for 15 minutes. Hey, by the way, guys, everything I say to them, I'm trying to make it feel like it's special to them. I think that's really important. Okay. So I'll say, guys, there's actually one more slide. We're rolling this out for the first time ever today. You guys are the second group we've ever done it to. So this is super, super exciting. Guys, we know you're all going to sign up. Hopefully you guys picked up on that language. Like, I'm telling them, I'm leading them down the field, right? We already know you're all going to sign up, right? It's a no-brainer. We want you guys to do it now. And here's what we're going to do, guys. For those of you that take immediate action, right? I know there's a lot of you out there. I see a lot of heads nodding. You guys are going to get some exclusive training content from the #1 income earner, Brian Carruthers. By the way, guys, this is all the video stuff that we all have access to. Full disclosure. right? Okay, cool. So you guys can all do the same thing. You have leaders here. Do whatever you want. The second thing is, guys, we are going to mail you a copy of Making My First 10 Million. We're going to put it in the mail. It's one of Brian Carruthers' 4 best-selling books, off script. It costs us $1. It's an investment in your business, guys. It's $1. Like, honestly. And by the way, I do think that's duplicatable. I think the sponsor can do it. If they don't, I'll pay it. It's $1 to get someone anchored and signed up today. Like, to me, that's a no-brainer. But once again, and the third thing, guys, and we're doing this, we're beta testing this on one of my new EDs that we just popped in 69 days, by the way. The third tab says, you guys are going to get exclusively handheld coaching mentorship from Blake Corey, our newest executive director. And why this is so important, guys, he's going to open up his playbook. He's going to show the blueprint of how he went to the highest level in our company in 69 days, part-time. All you have to do now is text Nick Odom and add Blake's text. We're actually going to have a text number once we create it. Text Nick Odom and add this text. And all I want you guys to put in the field is, I want the free items today. Our phone was blowing up yesterday, but once again, the data is too raw. And we're just trying to create that urgency. So we'll see what happens. I will say that when we were running this, we had some, what I thought was creative ideas, but I didn't think they were duplicatable. I will not do it. That is something I think Brian Carruthers, and I know all the leaders here do it, but oh my gosh, does he drill that in your head? And I don't want something 20 levels deep where someone else can't do what we're doing. So we're trying to make it as broad that anyone can plug and play as possible if we're going to do it. I'll throw this out at you guys too. I thought, by the way, Elizabeth, I thought you asked a great question because I know I missed a lot of stuff that we covered before. So if anyone thinks of something, this is a cool tweak we did about 60 days ago that has been a game changer for us. When we get to that money slide where it shows the levels, how much you can earn for linear income and then leveraged income, right? I really lean in on it here. Let me hold on.
Yeah, you did a phenomenal job yesterday, really pointing out the linear income and so yeah, please go through that, Aaron.
Okay. This was a question I was going to ask as well, if you want to elaborate on the greater part of it. When you go through the compensation on your private Zoom calls, would you give us sort of the rundown on how you do that? Because with all the speakers I've seen, there's a huge variety in it. And obviously what you're doing is working well. Like, do you cover the bonuses even though they're not on slides? Do you not? I'd love to hear all of the comp.
Yep. Okay. If I forget that, take me there too. So when I get to the opportunity part, let me back up. In the very beginning, guys, I share my quick story. It's about 60 seconds long. We all know that, right? And I say, guys, there are going to be 3 things we're talking about today. 3, right? Our company is solving 2 of the biggest problems that affect every single person on this Zoom. But here's another one, guys. Use language to the people you're talking to. I try not to say Americans all the time, unless it's just like a broad group. People on the Zoom. 2 of the biggest problems that every single person on this Zoom is facing. I don't point at them like that, but every single person is facing. And then something I learned, many years ago, guys, is whoever solves the biggest problem for the most amount of people also makes the most amount of money. By the way, guys, my tonality is just like that. And I should have said this too. This is not live where they can see your animations. You got to bring it in your voice. I've seen a lot of presentations and briefings, even in our company with some amazing people, guys, where the energy's not there. And they're delivering, and I say that not to mock. Their content is so good. It could change your life, but because the energy's not there, the transfer is not there. That's important, right? So how I'm doing this, it's just like that on a Zoom with me. Like, I am trying to bring it. It's like over the top. Like, when I'm done with my presentation, I walk out into the war room where my family is. I feel like I just got off the field. To the point my wife's like, man, you were doing a PZC. Like, come on, man. I'm like, honey, you don't understand. Like, I was bringing it. And you guys should feel that way too. That's so embarrassing, but it is what it is. Okay, cool. So I get to the first slide. I'm like, guys, here's problem number 1. Problem number 1, buckle up. I get to identity theft. Problem number 2. I get to the white paper study is what I call it. I don't know what the slide's called. Okay, I think that's right. And I say, guys, here's the opportunity. And I say, guys, listen, I talk really fast already. I know. I'm so sorry. I'm about to talk 100 times faster. And it's not because I'm sleazy, I'm cheesy, or dirty. It's because I am jacked out of my mind on what this opportunity can do, guys. And I just can't help it. I just can't help it. Right? And I'll go into, here's another one I started adding. Guys, when I joined 15 months ago, this is embarrassing, but I say this a lot. I always say it's going to be embarrassing. I do it with you. I always say I'm going to be transparent. I want them to know it's authentic. I'll say, guys, when I joined 15 months ago, my only goal was to add $1,000 a month to my bottom line. At the end of that year, if I hit 12,000, I won. There's going to be an extra vacation, maybe 2, maybe an upgrade to the car. And I share this with you guys because I was playing way too small, way too small. I just found out 2 weeks ago that I eclipsed $200,000 from this little home-based business. And I say that not to brag, but to shake you. If anyone here wants to change their life today, make sure you pay attention to the next 10 minutes, guys. Once again, I gotta get their attention. And I have had people on that when I'm doing this where their video was off, now their video's on. True story. True. Imagine doing a PZC if that happens, right? Okay, cool.
I said that's exactly, you used that exact language yesterday.
It's money, guys. It's money. Speaking of money, let's get to the money slide, right? So it's important. So I'm on the money slide. I have everything down, and I'll say, it's a little hard not doing it when you have it. I'll pop up the linear income where it has associated. I'll say, awesome, guys, here's how this works, right? All the numbers going forward are based off the 4990 combo plan. I call it the family plan. I'm going to round up to 50. I hope everyone's okay with that. Tie down. Cool. Hope everyone's okay with that. And guys, listen, if you sold more, you get paid more. If for some strange reason you only sold half, you get paid half. I'm planting that seed. I don't want half. I want all of it, right? Cool. You get half. So here's how this works, guys. When you partner with us today, you start off as what we call an associate, all right? Congratulations, guys. Check this out. When you go out and refer a $50 membership, and then I click the money, you're going to get paid $60. Check this out. We pay out daily. Refer that membership today. That $60 is in your bank account tomorrow. Guys, listen, I'm going to challenge everyone. I pray and hope everyone on the Zoom right now is doing so well financially. But I'm going to be doom and gloom real quick. A lot of people in this country are not. They don't know where the next check is coming from. They're furloughed. They're worried about a potential furlough. There's a lot of uncertainty right now. So don't make this just about you, right? Think about all the other people you guys know that you could bless right now with a vehicle that pays out daily. This covers the objection of, I don't need it. I'm already doing well. I already make 6 figures. Because now they're being selfish. I hope you got, anyway, that's a good one. Okay, cool. Awesome. So guys, check this out. Once you go out and you market 2 $50 memberships, 2 of them, right? Most people do that today, 2 of them. Congratulations, you just moved up to senior associate. The cool part here is you just doubled the profitability of your business. Now for that same 50 you brought in, you make 120. And then it goes up to 140, 160, all the way up to $280 for referring out a $50 membership. Guys, you guys now see why I'm excited? Heck yeah. Cool. By the way, guys, I'm going to preach for a quick second. Elizabeth and Teresa are probably laughing because I do the same thing every time. Once you do it, guys, don't get off script if it works. Cool. Guys, I'm going to preach for a quick second. I'm sorry. I have to. We do a lousy job in this country talking about money and wealth, right? And I'm passionate about it, so I'm going to do it right now. Cool. This column right here, and I'll point to it. This is what we call linear income. It's called time for money exchange. Without knowing what everyone on the Zoom call does, 99.999% of you are used to this. And I was too, up until a year ago. Get yourself in their shoes, by the way, off script. They're more relatable. I was too until I solved it, right? Cool. And so what that means, guys, if 100% of your income is based off 100% of your efforts, it's called scary. What happens if you get sick, injured, or hurt? Your income gets sick, injured, or hurt along with you, guys. Think about that for a second, right? Right? Hopefully you guys are getting it. I want people to shake their heads. They're kind of engaging. Cool. So not only do we have this as a vehicle, guys, but I'm going to show you 3 other ways that get better and better. And then I open up the leverage income. Okay? That pops up. This is where the game changer was for me. I am now going to look on my screen, and I do this pre-Zoom, pre-PZC opening up. I need one person who has a video. It's very hard for me to do like a webinar format where I can't see somebody. I don't get it. Like I keep seeing Nick. He's taking notes. He has a head. Like he gets me excited. Like I need that. In fact, I'd love for you to be on all my PZCs if you don't mind, brother. But I need that energy, right? So I'll move my screen over to the 3 I can see on top to where I get a video. And here's the other reason why. So it's energy number 1. Number 2 is when I get to the money. I'm going to say Steve B. Steve, hopefully you're a good sport, man. You're smiling. You look like a happy guy. I'm going to pick on you, bud. Hopefully it's okay. Not much you can do about it anyway, unfortunately. So Steve, you're a manager on our team right now. Congratulations, guys. Give him a round. He's a manager, right? Cool. So Steve calls me up and says, Aaron, I saw on Facebook you got 2 little boys. Out of curiosity, do you have a will? Steve, I don't, man. You know, it's $2,000 in my state where I live, but it's on my vision board for 2020. I will knock it out. Aaron, I was in a similar situation to you until I found this app. For $25, I can get you a will. Steve, send it right now. Like my wife's going to love this. Send it. Right? Guys, check this out. For a 5-minute conversation, Steve just got paid $140. He was smiling before, but look at him. He's ear to ear. Here's the other part. Steve, you're about to fall to your chair. That 140 is in your bank account tomorrow. Oh my gosh, guys, so exciting. But watch this out. I'm filling out the application, guys, that only takes 3 minutes to do. Built that in, 3 minutes to do. I fill out the application. I say, Steve, do you get paid for this? He says, Aaron, I get a referral fee for every person I help. I said, Steve, I know 10 people that don't have a will. Can I play too? He goes, 100%. So now I come over as an associate, guys. I call my neighbor Jill, and I use the exact same language Steve just taught me. Jill, I know at the bus stop the other day that you were talking about you didn't have a will either. She's like, yeah. I said, look, I just found a solution to our problem. I just got one. It's $25. Are you interested in learning more? Yes, 100%. Guys, as a brand new associate, for that 5-minute conversation, I made $60. I now have the same smile Steve has. This business is contagious. Check this out. Because Steve helped me, he poured into me. He got my website set up. He got my app set up. He talked to me about what to say. The company's going to pay him. I don't have to. The company in this example is going to pay him that $20 senior associate and that $20 manager bonus. Steve makes $40 every time I market a membership on his team. Look at his smile, guys. But don't play small on me. Watch this. When I go out and help those 10 people I just talked about, 10 times 40 is $400. Steve made $400 in leveraged override income that week. Guys, let's think even bigger for a quick second. What if Steve had 10 of me on his team? He made $4,000 in override leveraged income that week. Steve, I pray you had your seatbelt on for that, buddy. Then I go to the next slide. But she said, boom, I love it. When I started using the name, guys, in fact, true story, we've probably been doing this 60 to 90 days. That person that I use in that role play has never once not signed up. I haven't. Thoughts, feedback, questions?
No, that's exactly what I wanted to hear. Thank you so much for sharing that piece. I had heard you mention that before on another call, and that's what I wanted to make sure that we were really on point about that piece. That's very, very powerful. Thank you.
Love it.
So Aaron, just to be clear, on the slide where you kind of do that setup before you go into the compensation, you're doing that on the slide where it talks about the need, like is that right? Okay.
You talk about the one about, guys, I'm going to talk faster?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
I do it on that. And I've added some language to it. I think this works with especially with like the younger people, like the young pros and stuff. In fact, Nick, if you like it, you can steal it. I get to that slide. I talk about that. Like, here's why I'm Jack. I'm going to talk faster. I'm letting them know that why, right? And then I say, guys, opportunity right now is a buzzword. Nick's going to use better language. It's a hashtag. It's whatever, right? It's all over social media, right? There's 2 ingredients, though, and people don't talk about it. They don't. Number 1 is you need a vehicle that solves a problem. I just demonstrated we have 2. We have 2. The second piece, right, is the timing. The owner of Netflix didn't invite me to his dorm room. I missed that boat. Guys, we have 3% market share. And listen, I know you guys don't know me yet. We did what's called a white paper study. We polled tens of thousands of Americans. And if this doesn't get you excited that the opportunity is now, there's no hope. And now I jump in. That's my segue to it.
Hey,
I don't always do that one, but sometimes.
No, Aaron, I was going to say, I'm glad that you brought that up because the older slides, I'm just going to take us back just for a moment. The older slides, we used to actually have a slide that said 5 areas we're going to evaluate: the company, the need, the product, the comp, and the timing. And what you've done is we don't have to have that slide anymore, but because that timing piece you just mentioned is so key to kind of tie everything together. So appreciate you mentioning that.
Awesome.
Well, and I appreciated him doing it yesterday because a lot of people hide that slide talking about the survey that the company did. And Aaron uses that as the close going into the money. So Aaron, you want to talk about like the 60% of people?
Yeah.
I mean, the way you present that 60%?
Such a good point. That is one of the deadliest slides in that whole deck, guys, for the recruiting. Like, honestly, like if I'm losing someone on that, like I can already know they're not joined. That makes no sense to me. Like, no sense. So I get to that slide and I don't know the numbers offhand, but I'll say, guys, we did what's called a white paper study. If you're like me, you have no idea what that even meant, right? I had to Google it. Make yourself relatable. That's so important, right? And they're literally shaking their head like, yeah, what's that? Listen, guys, a white paper study, we hired an independent third party to go out and poll tens of thousands of Americans. And I hope that's accurate. I'll sometimes say North Americans if I'm doing a Canadian one, just so I include them. But we did poll tens of thousands of American guys and on their view on the legal system, and it wasn't affiliated with LegalShield. We wanted raw data. Check out these numbers, guys. Stat number 1, 94% said attorneys charge too much. I think the other 6, I think it's 93. I think the other 7% are attorneys. I've never met anybody that said they don't charge too much. And you'll hear it like, yeah, preach, like they're getting excited. The next one, 90% of Americans said they'd have no form of legal protection plan, right? Amazing. 9 out of 10 said they would seek regular legal advice if they could afford it. Guys, real quick, we just solved that problem for 90% of this country. It's called LegalShield at $25 a month. I say it just like that. And here's my favorite, guys. More than 60% of Americans said they would buy LegalShield today if it existed. Guys, I'm telling you right now, as someone that has owned several businesses, I've never been a part of a company that has an opportunity like that. 60% of the country is craving the product we have. Oh, let's jump in. And I go to the next slide. Like it's, I mean, I'm telling you, man, that slide is, and that's the other reason why it's so hard for me to shorten this.
So in the urgency is obviously a huge key in getting a new person started. And you've set up a lot of urgency around the membership, even, you know, by saying, like, by making it, hey, it only takes 3 minutes to get it done. Is there any sort of urgency in the close of the Zoom presentation where you're giving someone a reason to get their spot as an associate immediately, or do you primarily take that urgency to the 3-way call?
Yeah, we've toyed with it. We're hoping that last slide now, where it gives the 3 things we're going to get back, is going to help that. What I started doing, and it's embarrassing, I just don't know what I was thinking. At the end of that, I would say, guys, I made myself available for the next hour to 2 hours to answer any questions. For one, what was I thinking? Like, how stupid. Where literally someone would hang up the call, they'd be excited, they go out and make a sandwich, thinking, oh, I got Aaron on lock for 2 hours. Like, so dumb. So now I say, like, I'm only available for the next 15 minutes, guys. Like, if you knew my schedule today, oh my gosh, it's crazy. 15 minutes. This is going to be first come, first serve. Reach out to Nick right now, guys, right now, so I can answer those questions and I can personally set up your website, get you guys going. Guys, with that, be blessed. I appreciate you spending a lot, and I close it down. I've toyed with leaving the Zoom open for a Q&A at the end. Oh my gosh, was that awful. And I've heard other leaders be able to pull it off. More power to them. It takes one person to say something, and everything else is gone. So we don't do it that way. Hopefully that helps. What else, guys? I'll say one, right? A limiting belief. Someone, it's weird saying about yourself. I do not mean it to be cocky whatsoever. Someone might be thinking I'm a long way from where he is in terms of saying this and doing it. Guys, I'm new to the company. I just got here because I was doing repetition. We do them every single day. Like, it is rare a day goes by where I don't have 4 of these. Like, truly rare, right? And I promise you, if you just committed to just like a 2-week period where you guys knocked out like 12 to 15 of these, oh my gosh, you won't recognize the person you were today. I promise you that. In fact, you're probably like me. You're going to look back and be like, did I really say that? Oh my gosh, what was I thinking? Like, you'll start to have that growth, but it takes doing it. It takes doing it, guys. And right now, guys, you guys just got a lot of information. The only thing that you guys control now is the action. It's the action, guys. Like, I would challenge all of you to get on the phone. If you don't have a personal recruit, don't let that stop you. Reach down to your team. Go check I don't even know how to do it, but go check some Ellis Engage thing where you can see like a new associate. Get someone on the phone. Set this PZC, and the rest goes into action, guys. But that starts with you. There's nothing Teresa, Elizabeth, Nick, April, any of these guys can do as leaders to make you guys do it or force you to do it, whatever language you want to use. It starts with us. Anybody can do this. I'll share a couple of stories. You guys have probably seen his name, Garrett Terrell, around social media. Dude's a stud. He, in fact, I'll share that. This is really powerful. I think it's going to help resonate with some people. When I did not recruit him, I wish I did. But because we do, in fact, this is so powerful. Because we do welcome calls, and that is our culture, a dud recruited him. And don't ever send this tape out to anyone else. That would be awful. This is like really private. I'm going to get in big trouble. A sweetheart dud, really nice, but has not done anything else, right? Hasn't. This is their only recruit, and they've been here for quite some time. But because we do welcome calls, I was able to get my hands on this person, right? I get on that welcome call, and I'm going to be really transparent. He says his age. It's 24. I'm instantly in my mind. I'm sorry to all the young ones, Nick. I apologize. I'm thinking, it's gonna be hard. Like, I don't know the real man. Like, I don't know his business prowess yet. That's what I'm thinking in my mind. And so I'm not even taking that welcome call that serious. And that's embarrassing. That is low level leadership. I owe him more respect, and I failed. So I'm going through my questions. We set up the PZC for the next night. I think it was 6 o'clock. He came in at like 8 something the night before. So we almost 24 hours. I call him the next morning at 9 a.m. his time because he's on the West Coast, so it's 12 my time. I get on the phone. I say, hey, Garrett, how's everything going? He goes, I'm like, oh, here it goes. Just like I thought, right? He's going to cancel. That's what I'm thinking. And he goes, man, this is a lot harder than I thought. I sent out a couple texts, some Instagram stuff. Man, I don't have anybody yet. I said, cool, Garrett, can I coach you? You guys see the tie down? I can't just bring it, right? He goes, yeah, 100%, man. He's an athlete. He goes, 100%. I said, Garrett, when you joined yesterday, you had a big why. You had some income goals. You need to take all the information you gave me yesterday. You need to get into action, man. I need you to have thicker skin for a quick second. I need you to push through. You made a commitment to me. I gave up family time with my family tonight. It's already on my schedule, and I don't take appointments off my schedule, man. I don't. You got to grow into this, buddy. We're going to do it together. I want you to go out the next hour and send out 10 invites, and I'll check in with you. Okay? Now, some people are not going to be able to do that kind of coaching, guys. I got permission from him. If I would have felt like he was back, I would have changed it a little bit, but I felt like I could bring it. At this point, it was either win or lose because he was already trending out, right? He was ready to quit. So the next hour, he didn't get any. 2 hours later, I think it was the third hour, he texts me and goes, I just got one. You could almost feel his tone in the text come out. The cool part about this was 3-4 more hours went by. We're 15 minutes before our 6 o'clock, 9 o'clock my time PZC. He only has one person. I'm like so discouraged. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going to do 45 minutes for one, right? I got to get better on that, but it is what it is. He ends up calling his best friend, 2 of his best friends, and says, guys, I have my mentor on this call. Like, just get on the call. I don't even care of your work. Have it on mute. Have the mic off. Like, don't even be paying attention. Just get on. Like, begging, right? I didn't know this till afterward, by the way. I would have been so upset. So we have 3 people on. I go through my presentation. We get on the welcome calls. One even says, man, I only heard like 10 minutes of that because I'm actually bartending at work, but oh my God, let's go. Another one says, dude, I was babysitting, but what I heard, let's go. And that one that heard it all said, let's go. We signed on all 3 that night, okay? I want to remember this. When I called him at 12 o'clock that day, he was out the door. This, in my opinion, is a strong statement. This is a future platinum in our company. Out the door, guys. Out the door if you don't do this, right? If I didn't do the welcome call, he's probably not here. He wasn't engaged. He's already making 6 figures in real estate. If I don't lean in, I shouldn't be we don't lean in. We don't handle. We don't check in. We don't coach. We don't get him there, guys. He's not here, and he'll openly admit that. Here's how this grows. So that night we did the 3 welcome calls. We set all 3 PZCs for the next day. It was 4. I just did a presentation. It was 4, 11, and 13. I think 4, 11, and 14, something like that. At the end of his first 24 hours, he had a team of 25. I get texts from this man every single day. It's slowed down a little bit, but not much. Multiple times a day. You changed my life. You changed my life, brother. Like, I can't even believe it. My future kids are going to thank you. Like, Aaron, I can't even believe I'm here. Like, thank you so much. Like, it blew him away. I cannot, he's become one of my good friends. I cannot have a normal conversation with this man anymore. It has to be about work. Like, he is so excited, guys. And that goes back to why we do this. That's that belief check. He was out the door. Out the door. Now he's locked and loaded. Thoughts, feedback on that?
Okay, now, Aaron, yes, you said you do your welcome call, and you walked us through the welcome call earlier. So let's say, you just did Nick's PCC, you're available, or PZC, you're available for 15 minutes. What does that initial call look like?
Awesome. Yep.
Yeah.
Welcome calls are the key to duplication, by the way. I said this in my Dallas presentation, the virtual, and it's harsh, but it's true. If I looked at someone's calendar, my humble opinion, I can tell how big or how good your organization is doing by the number of welcome calls on your schedule. I swear by it. That is the key to duplication, guys. That is the absolute key. If you're not having massive momentum, you're doing everything else, that's why. Okay.
So when you hang up from that PZC, that first call that you're making to follow up, do you call that a 3-way call, or do you call that the welcome call?
I called a 3-way call because we haven't closed them yet. Yep.
Okay.
So Nick's going to get April on the phone. And usually at this point, and we got to get better. I'm so big about dumbing this down. I don't want to throw too much at Nick. I'm not saying he can't handle it. I think he's actually one of the smarter people I've ever met, by the way. I told him that recently. I want to make it so easy. So I'm not even teaching the power of the welcome call yet, unless I really, really think they can handle it. So that first welcome call is awful, right? But I want them so intensely focused on just getting butts in seats for the PZC that I don't want them on websites. We don't do any of that. I don't give them my onboarding site. I don't talk about anything else. And I'm probably going to get in trouble for saying that on this call. I want a singular focus. That's it. So on that welcome call, Nick's usually like, hey, April, are you there? Awesome. Aaron, are you there too? I'm like, I'm here. And he won't even edify me. And I just edified myself anyway. So I just take it from there. April. And so I asked 3 questions on a welcome call, guys. Hopefully this is what she wanted. 3 questions. And this is a bad example for that, but I'm going to share it anyway. Were you able to watch a video or a Zoom call if it's someone I didn't meet, right? If they did not, I push them back to the source. I don't want to be the source for them. I'm never the tool. Leverage the tools. Number 2 is, what did you like best? Ask a positive question. Guess what you get? A positive answer. And then question 3 is, what questions do you have? And then they merge over. So at this point, we get on the call for Elizabeth's question. I'm going to say, awesome. April, by the way, can I give you a compliment? This is so good. April, I appreciate your engagement. I really, really do. I saw you leaning in. It really fired me up. It probably made me talk faster in all fairness, but I just want to say thank you. I really do. Guys, you don't think she's like enjoying this combo just by a simple compliment? She's like, wait, he remembers me? I'm like, awesome. April, so real quick, you know, I'm looking forward to get to know you. Obviously, we're going to build together. Soft close. April, what did you like best from what I just did? Oh, man, the income, you know, I still have a job, but I just don't know, and getting paid daily. Awesome. And I have a feeling I answered probably every question you were thinking, but just in case there's one left, go ahead. So powerful. I just told her she's only allowed to, that's probably rude, but she's only allowed to ask one. I let her know that I probably answered. I'm leaning her in that everything was just covered. Right? I think we got to be careful of that, because if we tell someone they need to go ask you a bunch of questions, if they can't think of them off the cuff, they're going to push back until they can. Think about that for a second. And that's it. And then we walk them through the application. Now, this is a little bit more labor intensive. Nick doesn't know what Nick doesn't know right now. So on that first PZC, a lot of times as a leader, that's why I said I have to groom leaders, otherwise I can't do it. Corey, in this case, is his sponsor, is going to walk that April through the application on the phone. I am so religious about this to the point my team probably gets sick of it. It is my pet peeve. If you're going to waste leadership's time, I shouldn't say, well, it's a waste if they don't do it right. If they're going to use leadership's time, we do the close for you guys. Think about that for a second. We just close the person. They say yes. We hang up the phone, and I hear this all the time. Awesome, April. I knew you're going to like it. I'm so excited. You're going to do so well. Listen, I just sent you over a text with a link. Call me if you get stuck. I love it. And then you go out. Guys, I already said this like 5 times. Buying this app, it's not sexy. April didn't lie to me when she said she wants to become a partner. Guess what? Her kids are screaming. She needs to make dinner. She needs to go to work. She needs to do that. She's 1,000 other things to go do. And the longer we wait from the time that I just got the verbal close to us getting the application, the less likely it happens. That's why I'm passionate about it. And then you end up chasing those people. Now this becomes a chasing job, and now Nick's not having fun. He's like, man, this became like a career already. Like I have to do all that. So stay on the phone with them, guys. Stay on the phone with them. It is so important. Hopefully that answered that, Elizabeth.
Absolutely. Just trying to clarify, you know, what that initial call looks like, and then what if, you know, after the PZC, and then what the call, you know, what a regular 3-way call looks like. I think you've answered both of those.
I'll add one more too. This is pretty important. I started doing this probably 4 or 5 months ago now. At the end of that, when I get the verbal, and by the way, the close that we use, I think it's fishing with dynamite. I always share it because I challenge leaders. If you're not using this and you're not having massive success, anyone on this call, challenge your 3-way expert. Do it respectfully. I'm not here to cause fights. But at the end of that, I'll say, Nick, you know, what did you like best? You know, and he'll tell me, awesome, what questions do you have for me? Usually it's 1 or 2. And they're almost always the same, by the way, which is why this is so easy to scale. They're almost 1 or 2. And I'll say, awesome, Nick, did I answer your questions? You guys see how I'm tying him down? Yeah, he'll say, yeah, Aaron. Okay, cool. Do you mind if I ask you one? Of course, Aaron, by all means. Awesome. Have you already done the application with Corey, or is that what you guys are going to do right now? And I already know the answer. Guys, 99.99, like infinity, they say, no, Aaron, I haven't. Corey, I guess that's what we're doing now. Like it happens every time. Right? This is why the 3-way is so important. You don't have to close your own people. This is how I was able to explode my first month, guys. I was already so busy. If I had to be the video, I had to do the presentation, and I had to close, I wouldn't have done it. I couldn't have. I just leveraged someone like Corey to do the legwork. It's so genius.
Well, you're also training your leaders how to do it, so that now I'm sure you have lots of people who are playing your role on your team, which is exciting.
Yeah, 100%. And it has to get better, but 100%. You know, the other thing, the reason people don't do, I shouldn't talk in absolutes. I hate when I do that. The reason I believe people don't do more 3-way calls is they're scared of it. And I know this because my three-way expert was Mr. Carruthers. I've never been in a company I've never done any of this. And Brian says, Mr. Carruthers says, get your people on the phone with me. Here's, you got to edify me. You got to do this. You know how he talks. My knees were shaking. Like, this guy's going to kick me out of the company. And so because of that, guys, I learned from that. Now, if Nick's on my team, I give Nick my edification script. I give it to him. Don't make your new associate think about how they're going to edify Corey. They don't know Corey yet. That's intimidating. Wait, I got to get Mr. MVP on the call? What if I stutter? What if I don't say it right? What if I meant that? And by the way, guys, we laugh. That's what they're thinking. I promise you. You want this so dumbed down, so doggone easy that anybody can do it. And so I give them those tools. Nick, would you mind if we role play this real quick? Because I want you to feel really comfortable, man. It is so easy. And that's what I do to them. Right? Awesome. Nick, here's what you're going to do. You're going to call your prospect. You're going to ask these 3 questions. Were you able to watch the Zoom call at 9 o'clock? If they say no, by the way, here's a great script. If they say no, and it does happen, don't get hurt. If they say no, here's what you say. Awesome. Well, since you answered my call at 9 as scheduled, I know you blocked that time for me. I don't want you to waste it on me. Go watch this video. I'm going to text it to you right now, and I'll call you back in 20 minutes. And you hang up the phone. Teresa's laughing at me. I did not ask permission. And here's the other thing. I was not the video. I hear this all the time. Oh, Nick, no worries. I'll tell you all about it. No, you won't. No, you won't. You'll end up telling the parts that were important to you. You guys want to hear a true story? I hate when I say that too. That means all the other stories are fake. That's a bad sales habit, by the way. Okay, so when I signed up at that business briefing with Brian Carruthers 15 months ago, I came home. I was actually pretty excited, right? I was pretty jacked. I saw the opportunity. I saw that this was going to be pretty big, right? I came home. I remember it was like an hour and a half drive. I talked to my wife. I'm like, honey, I got an opportunity for us. It's going to be amazing. She, of course, is rolling her eyes being like, I don't see you already. Like, what are you doing? Like, right? Now, God bless her. She knows if I'm not building, I'm not happy. So she fully supports me. I just knew she was not, she was not engaged. She was on board, but she wasn't sitting in the front seat. Right. And so a month is going by. I'm coming home from business briefings. We're making money. Like we're excited. I'm excited, I should say. And she's in the back seat. Right. And I'm like, baby, like what's going on? Like, I need you on this. And once again, she wasn't being negative, right? She wasn't my cheerleader on this. She wasn't my partner on this. Finally, I said, babe, can I get you to watch the video? And she goes, yeah, of course, I will. 4 days went by. This is my own wife. Talk about I'm lousy at sales. 4 days went by after I asked her, and we were already a month into this journey. My own wife hadn't seen the information. Like, blows my mind. I come home from a business briefing. That's when she happened to do it, right? I come home, and I walk in the door. It's late because it's like an hour and a half of drive. And she goes, we need to talk. I'm like, oh, uh-oh. And she's holding like 4 pages of notes. I'm like, and I forgot what she was doing. I was like, what's going on? You all right? Are we good? The kids okay? And she goes, I just watched the video. Okay. And she goes, she's holding this paper. I was like, are those notes? And she goes, yeah. And I said, I had like a paragraph of note. You have 4 pages? And so she goes, sit down. I was like, okay. So I'm sitting down and she goes, Aaron, we're going to change the freaking world. Like we're changing the world. You know how many people don't have access to this, man, who are not fortunate? Like we are empowering people. I was like she was intimidating me. I came home talking about, dude, my next speeding ticket, I'm going to get out of it. I'm so excited. The next time someone says that's my store's policy, I can write a letter. Guys, and I share this with you because what was exciting for me was not exciting for her. I learned a very, very valuable lesson. And part of leadership, I hope you learn this lesson through me and not through yourself now. And what I learned, guys, is we're going to talk about what excites us to our prospects. And there is no guarantee. In fact, if I'm guessing, most likely it's not exciting to them. That is why that day going forward, I've never been the tool. I don't talk about LegalShield. I want them to see the full presentation. They need to see one thing that speaks to them, and that is it. And that's what happened to my wife that day, guys. It changed everything. Sorry, I was way off topic, but
no, that was an amazing story. Thanks for sharing.
Absolutely.
Okay, Aaron. I've had the benefit of hearing the other side of the story from Brian. So here's what I want you to tell us. Talk to us about what Brian did with you when you got started. If you can remember.
That's a loaded question. Okay. Yell at me if I'm taking this way off topic.
No.
I think it is important. This is a harsh message, though, and hopefully it's the one you wanted me to say. This is a leadership talk. So, like, this is us getting real, right? And there were times where I didn't like that Brian said this out loud at conventions and things like that. Brian sheltered me. He hid me from the company. I did it with Garrett for as long as I could until people like Nick and other people find him. And that, by the way, that's a good thing. That's what we need to do. We need to go find like emerging people. I'm not mad at him, but I did. I hit him. Like he didn't know about other organizations. He didn't know anything. And this is important, guys, because I remember that first month I recruited 14 people. I've never been in network marketing, never been a recruiter. It's not my wheelhouse, but I was passionate about it, right? I'm a student. I said, there's money here. I'm going to figure out how to do this. Let's go do it. And I remember at the end of that month, I said, Brian, I got 14. I was coming to him like he's my dad. He'd kill me for saying that because he's not that much older than me. But I was coming to him for like recognition, for like love, right? And I said, Brian, how did I do? And he goes, let me look. He's like, you got 14. I was like, okay, like how's that? He was like, it's not bad. It's not bad. I was like, oh, not bad. I was like, what's good? And he goes, usually if you're around 20, you're trending in the right direction. I said, okay, so I need 20. And so I share this with you guys because think about this. Too often you might have and by the way, it's called the law of the lid. It's a great John Maxwell leadership lesson. He kept raising my lid, right? And so if I would have come over and I recruited 2 my first month and he was like, dude, you did fantastic. You're PC qualified. You know, you're in the top 10% of the company. I don't know that number to be true, but it's probably somewhat close. That was going to be my lid. That was my ceiling. He just set it for me, right? And so he role modeled that behavior as a good leader, as a student, right? You got to be able to learn. I said, if that worked for me, let me go do that with Garrett. Once Garrett showed up, so Garrett broke every record I ever did, by the way. And that's the cool part about this. This is not about us. This is about us doing something and then figuring out how to make it better so someone else can have success quicker, right? Think about that. Garrett broke every record I've ever done. And then we broke it again with Brody, which is so cool. So anyway, we sheltered Garrett. Garrett didn't know. Here's a funny story. We won, in fact, well, only some of you guys will know that. They did a beta test of that big March Madness for, I think it was the top 50 teams, MVPs, people on that like level. We did one in February. Our team won that. And we crushed it, crushed it. So much so that my team, who Garrett and those guys and girls, they were asking like where we ranked. And I was like, guys, it's neck and neck. Like we're winning by like 20 points. I think we won the thing by 17,000. Like crushed it. And sorry, some of the people that aren't here, they didn't know. And that's why they were still going. Like we're in the last day. They're like, guys, as a group of 5, we got to throw up 15 recruits. And we did a power hour. If they would have known they were up, they were already winning, they were already, future rock stars in the company, we don't push as hard. So be careful of that, guys. Be really careful of that. We're molding people. And that's where our leadership really, really comes in. You got to know who you're talking to, who can handle tough love, who can handle what I call a fierce conversation, and all that sort of stuff. Elizabeth, what else did you want me to say on that? That probably wasn't even the topic.
Yeah, well, no, that was important. What I wanted to say is, I think what you were talking about is, yeah, Brian said, oh, that's great. But from the very beginning, do you think Brian was, like you said, he was requiring you to be on, he was requiring you to prepare to do your own presentations? He was sort of had you in that spot of, you're going to be doing all this, so you better be paying close attention. That's what I was saying. Can you just kind of walk us through let's talk about your first month. What did he do for you? What did he make you do as far as learning and being able to do on your own?
Yeah, a lot. So when she said make you do, she's right. Like we didn't have a choice. And the cool thing with that, guys, I didn't know any better, right? A new recruit, new associate doesn't know what they don't know, is what I say. I still don't know what I don't know. But yeah, every time, obviously, he was on a 3-way call, I had to be there. If he was doing a PZC, I was there. Anything he was doing, he was role modeling that behavior, and I didn't know it. And sometimes he would phrase it in the beginning, it was a little softer. Hey, Aaron, I really want you to see this. I want you to pick up on this. It's going to help you sell, right? So I was coming for me, right? No, I was coming for the future me. I just didn't know it yet. And then what he did really, really well, and people that know me, I know April knows this. I know Nick probably does. I am not good at what we're doing right now. Like when they say get on stage, like any of that, like I don't sleep. I have panic attacks. I'm sweating. It is awful. Like I hate it. My 3rd month in, they asked me to be on stage in Dallas. I remember calling, I'd call them to quit, and I hang up the phone. Like I just hated it. And so what Brian picked up on that, he knew he could not treat me like a Nick, who's just a natural rock star, that kind of stuff, right? He got to take baby steps. It's called leadership, guys. Leadership. There's not one path here, right? So Brian said, probably 2 weeks in, Aaron, on the next PZC we do, can you edify me? I was like, you can't say no to your mentor. Okay. And so I'd edify for 2 days. Hey, Aaron, on week 3, listen, man, I know you really understand the opportunity. That's kind of where you're gravitating. I'm going to lead off with the membership portion of the PZC. I want you to take the opportunity. Okay. I would do that for a week. Hey, Aaron, I really want to see you do the whole thing. Okay, I got it. He took baby steps with me. So at the end of 30 days, guys, I was running business briefings, right? I was opening up new business briefing markets. I didn't know any better. This doesn't take 2 years to go learn, but that also takes a really good sponsor. It takes a really good leader, right? And it's funny, I had this conversation recently. You have to be careful with how you do that because that's not for everyone. If Brian would have come at me the way he would talk to Nick about this, right? Seeing natural talent, I would have quit. I would have quit. If Brian would have said day one, dude, I want you at the end of this month, I want you running business briefings, PZC, I'm out. For one, it would have scared me. Two, I didn't have time. I had to get to where this was fun. I was having a blast doing it. I was helping a lot of people. We were making a lot of money to where I wanted to go spend more time. So I think we have to be very, very careful with that conversation, but that conversation needs to happen. If we're not growing leaders, guys, you're working yourself into a job. Working yourself into a job. The other cool part about leaders, guys, that I love is it forces you to become better. Forces you to become better, right? I have one personal recruit this month. I'm not ashamed to admit I have one. I was talking to Garrett yesterday. I do my leadership calls with my team every single day, my leaders anyway. I was on the phone with him and he's like, man, I'm having an awful month. I only have 8. Stop. For one, I wanted to be like, dude, man, you just hurt my feelings, right? But of course I was like, man, you really are. Like, why is it so bad? Because I wanted to go do better, right? He needs that push. But that's what it does, right? Runners want to run with runners. Think about that for a second. If you don't have a runner in your organization, that's mission number 1. And it doesn't have to just be you. That's the other big one, right? I know I'm probably going to get in trouble with corporate on that because they want us all to always be recruiting. We should be, right? But get your hands on other people. That's also by the welcome call, by the way. And I do have to go in a couple minutes. That welcome call is so important because I'm going to make a bold statement. I promise you right now, anyone here that has a team, and I would imagine most of you do, you probably already have a runner in your organization right now, or you had one that left. You as a leader didn't know it. You didn't know it. I'm going to go back. It takes a dud inviting a stud and they weren't led right. And I tell a lot of people, not a lot, I tell people who can handle that. If I would have got recruited by a dud and someone like Corey, April didn't get their hands on me, I'm out. I'm out, guys. I am so out. Like, and I'm not saying I'm like a rock star. I'm out. Like, this isn't like, what? This isn't fun. Like, what are we supposed to be doing? Like, I'm figuring it out. Like, think about that for a second. So look through your organization, see who's there, find out if anyone's leaned in. And a runner might not have had instant success, by the way. They might need to be led on track, kind of like a Garrett, who is an absolute rock star. I can handle like 2 or 3 more questions, but I do have to go after that, if that's okay.
I was going to say, you have been here a long time, so if you need to go, please don't let us mess your schedule up. We appreciate the time. But if you've got another minute or two, if anybody's got a question, now would be the time.
Is there a replay of this training right here?
It will be up. Yes, we're recording it.
Wonderful. He's awesome.
Yeah, yes, he is.
Let me get my wife again.
Hey, look, Aaron, this is Corey. Just the question I had for you was, man, running a lot of DCs like you have shared with us. What are some of those? So let's say that, I don't know, you got a person, maybe they're a manager on board and they have 2 or 3 PZCs, but are you guys leveraging any other videos or any of that kind of stuff as well? Or and fine, whichever way, I'm just trying to get an idea. You guys leveraging like the other Zooms the company may be doing for the onesie twosies that people may not have on the PZCs, but that group that's not in your core that's running, what are you doing with that other group that may not be moving fast?
Yeah, great question. Yeah, we leverage the heck out of Prospect App. I'm big on accountability. I learned this in my days of leading a team in real estate. Prospect App's the only way I'm allowed to do it because I get calls all the time, Aaron, this doesn't work. It's not working. For one, off script, it does work. Come on, we have too many success stories like Corey, Nick. I mean, everybody, right? Like the only not working right now is you, unfortunately. I don't say that to them, but that's what we got to figure out. And so I'll ask, hey, do me a favor, before we have that coaching conversation, text me over a screenshot of your Prospect App. Oh man, I don't get very many calls after I say it. People are laughing, but it's true. The ones that are brave enough, they'll send it over and they'll say, it'll show they sent out 2 videos all week. Think about that. Now I know exactly what to coach on. It's effort. It's actually prospecting, right? So we do leverage the prospect video. I'm a huge fan of, I gotta be careful on this. I'm a huge fan of the Brian Carruthers Zoom on there. And then I like the Darnell Zoom. I like both of those. I think they're phenomenal videos, like really, really good videos. I don't know if you guys have your own or whatever. And then we're only doing PZCs for the most part, about 90% are for that initial launch. and it's a bandwidth issue. Sometimes I'll get a seasoned agent. I say seasoned, they've only been with us like a year, but where they want to do a relaunch, and I love that. But it's not like a maintenance thing where I'm going to keep doing a PCC for Corey every single week. I just don't have it. So for that, you're shooting a video or you're going to the company Zooms. Yep.
Aaron, thank you very much. So we've been sending quite a few people to the company Zooms, and there are times we can't get right back to them after they've watched the Zoom. They won't answer the phone, whatever. Is that just considered still a numbers game, or is there something maybe we're not doing when we send them to that company Zoom?
Yeah, so really good question. So there's no perfect answer. Something I've discovered that will help me, we need to add accountability to that call. So if I'm sending you to the 9 o'clock Zoom, I'm going to say, Mara, awesome. Make sure you download the app. By the way, guys, so many people don't even say that. If someone hits a hurdle or a roadblock right before they're supposed to do something for you, they're not doing it. Most aren't, especially if you only teased it, because they don't even know what they're supposed to be excited for, right? Just think about that. So I'll say, make sure you download the app. Make sure you're in a quiet place because the information is going to be amazing. Listen, that presentation is going to be about 20 minutes long. So I'm going to set a calendar invite on my calendar right now, Mara, for 9:30. And the reason is I got to hear what you thought. I'm dying to hear your opinion. So I'm going to call you right at 9:30. Does that work for you as well? By the way, they say yes every time. Now, it's still not perfect. If I had to guess, they probably answer 70%, but I'll take 70% over 10% all day long. All day long. So now I call at 9:30. Mara, it's Aaron. It's 9:30. I promised you I'd call, and here I am. Awesome. Were you able to get on that Zoom call? No, man. I got home late. The kids were doing this. Oh, I get it. Life gets in the way. Listen, because you answered this call at 9:30, I know it was on your schedule. I don't want you to waste 20 minutes on me. Use it right now. I'm going to shoot you over a video, and I'm going to call you back at 9:50. We still good? Awesome. Guys, I'm like a robot. Like I do it every single day. Don't reinvent the wheel. That's it. Okay, one more. This is a fun group. I had no idea we were going to be on this long. I love it.
Me either. So I really appreciate your time, Aaron.
Absolutely. One more. Come on. Give me a limiting belief. Give me an objection you're getting. Something.
Aaron, have you ever run into issues where people invited like folks from like their social media that they don't have a phone number for, and how that follow-up is done? I know we ran into that with a new associate lately that had messaged, which we didn't know he did this, but he messengered a bunch of people, and then we found out after that they got on, but he didn't have phone numbers to follow up with some of those people. So I don't know how you coach people through that. Yeah.
You know what I love about this question, guys? This is a question from getting in the trenches. Like most people who aren't doing this would have no idea to even ask that, right? And this is how you learn. So the way we tell a new associate, so if I was coaching you up, April, you're brand new associate on our team. Joshua's on here. I didn't see, he was on the different page. What's up, buddy? See, I'm like crazy. I'm all over the place. So yeah, if I was coaching you up, I'm going to say, listen, I'm going to give you the link. It's aaronbrowningszoom.com. By the way, guys, it's for $10. Make it a vanity. It doesn't have to be your name or whatever. Sending that long code, it's hard. Make this as easy as you can for people. Sorry. So listen, April, my request for you is that when you send it out, you only send it out when someone confirms, and that confirmation has to go out via text. This way it's all in one place on your phone for you to get it later for calls. Does that make sense? I don't even tell them it's for the 3 ways because it could confuse them. This might be a block for why they don't have to go do it. I just tell them it's about them because everyone only cares about ourselves, right? Why it's important, so they have it all in one place in their text thread. And so I'll do the same. That's really good language, by the way. I do a lot of prospecting on Facebook to quote friends, right? And I'll go through it. You keep your income options open. They say, yeah, awesome. Listen, if I were to get you over a 20-minute video, would you take a look? The video changed my life. Yeah, absolutely. Cool. My app only lets me text it to you. What's the best phone number? They give it to you every time. Hopefully that helps. But yeah, nothing worse than that, by the way. And I had one recently where it happened. It was like, oh, I think it was my fault. I didn't say what I was supposed to say, but.
That's great. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, cool. We good?
We are phenomenal. I know Frank and Teresa probably have some closing comments, but thank you so much for your time. I mean, you have given us more than enough of your time, and my goodness, the value has just been incredible. And I think everybody that took the time to hop on today, I appreciate all of you getting on because I think you understood why we wanted each one of you to be able to hear from him personally. So thank you so much. Corey, I don't know if you or Frank or Teresa, Nick, April, any of y'all have any comments before we let him go, because he's given us an awful lot of time here.
Yeah, we'll let April and Corey go first, and then we'll talk.
I'm done. I got
I'm
everything.
done. I'm good. I'm ready to go make calls.
Nick, you want to say anything?
I love Nick Talks. Oh.
Thank you so much, Aaron. I really appreciate you being on. I don't want to keep you any longer. I got notes I want to take action on.
All right, Aaron, listen, we'll be forever grateful for the time you spent with us. We know you've got a family, you got a business, you just moved into your new house and you're still unpacking. And I was on the road about 90%. As a matter of fact, I just walked in the house and got knocked off to the thing, but I listened to everything you said. And we had our top leaders on here. And I just want all the leaders to know that very rarely will you ever have a chance to sit in front of somebody that is really, really in the trenches and digging new trenches all the time and can answer all those questions. So, Aaron, I am just so grateful and so thankful that you poured into our organization today. And I wanted to ask a lot of questions, but Elizabeth and everybody else asked the questions I would have probably asked anyway, and it was noisy where I was at. So thank you. And I know Teresa has a few words for you, but whatever you need, buddy, you let us know, okay?
Thank you. Appreciate it.
We're greatly indebted to you. You've been so generous with your time and your expertise and sharing, and you just got put on not just a pedestal of knowledge and success, but you just got put on a pedestal of respect and admiration from all of us because of who you are and because of what you're doing and what you've done, but of really who you are. Thank you so much. Not many people would have done what you've just done for our team.
Yeah, and thank your wife for loaning you to us too.
Yeah.
Will do. I'm sure she heard that one. If anything, she heard that one, I promise.
And she's probably
I appreciate you guys. I appreciate the time. Hopefully you guys got some nuggets. Do me a favor. Go get into action, guys. Go report back to leadership. Tell them what you knocked out. Go set a PZC today. Don't go to sleep tonight without one on your books, guys. Watch what happens. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Aaron, so much.
Thanks, Aaron.
I appreciate your time.
Appreciate you.
Thank your associates for being on the phone that you got on, your other leaders, and I guess we'll talk to them in a few days, right?
Yeah, and we recorded this. We'll be working on the replay, but it's going to be a long time. It takes a while to process it when it's this long. So just let you know.
And if you want to have your team go listen to it, it'd be worth gold to them. I'll tell you right now, it'll cut out a lot of your training. So we all got a lot to do, right?
Yeah, let's go.
All right, everybody. And I think the country's getting ready to open up, but about 30% of the people will not go back to work, and they're going to be looking for something to do when their unemployment runs out. And so this is a time to go out and stack a lot of new prospects and get them on the phone and get some Zoom calls going. All right, from Charleston, South Carolina, and Elizabeth and the rest of the leaders, thank y'all so much. Bye-bye now.
Thanks.